In a world defined by constant distraction and emotional unrest, the search for inner peace has become more urgent than ever. We chase silence in a noisy world, stability in uncertain times, and meaning in an age drowning in information. But long before psychology, self-help, and mindfulness apps existed, there was Plato. Plato wasn't just a philosopher, he was a seeker of truth, a builder of ideas, a student of Socrates and the teacher of Aristotle, and most importantly, he was a deep observer of the soul. For Plato, inner peace was not a luxury. It was the outcome of living in harmony, within yourself, and with the world around you. Today, we return to his ancient insights, not for nostalgia, but for clarity. Because Plato's map to the soul still works, perhaps now more than ever. Plato's vision of peace begins with a bold idea. The human being is not a single, simple thing. We are not just minds, not just bodies, not even just emotions. We are, according to Plato, composed of three parts of the soul, and they are constantly in conflict. The first is reason, the rational part of the mind that seeks truth, makes plans and questions reality. The second is spirit, the part of us that feels pride, ambition, courage, and drives us to action and justice. And the third is desire, our physical cravings, impulses, and appetites. If this sounds familiar, it's because you experience it daily. When you're on a diet but crave junk food, when you want to study but feel lazy, when you know the right thing to do, but emotions pull you elsewhere, that inner conflict. Plato saw it clearly, and he offered a solution. According to Plato, peace comes when these three parts are in harmony. When reason leads, spirit supports, and desire follows, not the other way around. But in modern life, the roles have reversed. Desires dominate, spirit rebels, and reason is drowned out by noise. Inner peace, then, is not something we find. It's something we build by restoring the right order within. To bring harmony to the soul, Plato emphasized the role of philosophy, not as academic theory, but as a practice, a way of life. Philosophy, he believed, is the training of the soul for wisdom, for truth, for virtue. In the Republic, he writes that an unexamined life is not worth living, echoing his teacher Socrates. And this self-examination is not about guilt or regret. It's about understanding what we are, what we're becoming, and what we ought to become. Today, we look outward for peace, more money, better relationships, exotic vacations. But Plato reminds us the real battle is within, and philosophy is the mirror that helps us see. A second key to Plato's approach is justice, not just in society, but within the individual. For Plato, justice isn't merely legal, it's psychological. It means each part of the soul doing its proper job. When reason rules, guided by wisdom, when spirit defends that rule with courage, when desire obeys with self-control, then we are just, not only in action, but in being. And justice, for Plato, is peace. This idea challenges modern thinking. We've been told that peace comes from comfort or pleasure. But Plato says, peace comes from order, from virtue, from alignment. Plato also believed that true peace comes from turning away from illusions and turning toward the eternal. In his famous allegory of the cave, he describes humanity as prisoners chained inside a cave, watching shadows on the wall. These shadows represent the illusions of fame, wealth, social approval, the things most people chase. But they are not real. They are mere reflections of something deeper. The prisoner who escapes the cave and sees the sun, the truth, at first feels pain, confusion, even fear. But over time he adjusts, and finally understands what is real. Plato's message is simple but powerful. Peace comes from seeing clearly, from escaping illusions, from stepping into the light. In modern terms, this means questioning the values you've inherited, rethinking success, being willing to leave the cave, even when it's uncomfortable. One of Plato's most powerful tools for peace is education, not just formal schooling, but paideia, the formation of the soul. Plato believed we become what we train ourselves to love. If we constantly feed our lower desires, shallow entertainment, ego validation, endless comparison, we become restless. But if we train the soul to love wisdom, truth, and goodness, we become free. This is why he placed music, mathematics, philosophy, and physical training at the heart of his ideal education. Not because they're useful, but because they shape the soul toward harmony. Ask yourself, what are you training your soul to love? Because that love will shape your inner world and your peace. In the end, Plato's message about peace is not soft or sentimental. It's rigorous, demanding, transformational. You don't stumble into peace. You discipline yourself into it. You don't find peace in the world. You build it in the soul. You don't wait for peace. You become peace by aligning yourself with truth, wisdom, and virtue. So the next time you feel anxious, unfocused, or lost, don't just look outside. Don't escape into screens or distractions. Turn inward. Ask yourself who's ruling your soul right now: desire, emotion, or reason. And if it's not reason, guided by truth, then peace will always remain distant. Plato may have lived 400 years ago, but his voice still echoes through time, not as noise but as guidance, not as rules but as direction. He speaks to the modern soul, tired, scattered, yearning for stillness, and he offers not an escape, but a path to self-mastery, to clarity, to a deeper, lasting peace. Plato's guide to inner peace is not a prescription. It's a mirror, one that invites you to know yourself, order your soul, and rise above the noise of the world into the realm of what truly matters. Because peace isn't a place you go, it's the person you become.